First he tackled finances, now he's tackling gangs. We'll speak with Nassau Legislator Kevan Abrahams next on Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. Hello and welcome to Cablevision's Meet the Leaders, a program designed to inform and update you about your community and issues here on Long Island. Our guest today is Nassau County Legislator Kevan Abrahams of the 1st District in Nassau. Welcome. Nice to have you here, Kevan.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, you've been a legislator for Nassau County only for a couple of months. You were elected in a special election in September of last year. Is it September?
September of last year, September 10th.
And you've been on the legislature for just a few months, and you came in at a most difficult time for the county financially. Just before we get into some of the issues that are the most important in the county right now, how has it been for you from a personal perspective to have joined the legislature during such a difficult time?
Well, the transition has been, I guess, easier for me than it would be for most people. The one thing that was different in my situation is that I was the budget director for the Nassau County Legislature before I was actually running for office. So a lot of the facts and the information that goes on an everyday basis at the legislature I already had a comprehensive knowledge for. The one transition is basically getting more assimilated with the community and the district and understanding the issues and the community leaders and so on and so forth. So I've been trying to network with those individuals as quickly as possible and get my feet running on those type of aspects.
Now, the 1st District is which communities?
The 1st District includes Unionville, Roosevelt, and portions of Freeport, Hempstead, Baldwin, and East Meadow.
Okay. And you grew up in your district?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got neighbors, friends, relatives, who probably all call you with what they want you to do, right?
Yeah, with all different types of issues, stuff that the county doesn't handle, from town stuff, you know, when my garbage is picked up late, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Right, right.
But absolutely. But that's the part about it I like. If I had to judge which aspects of the job I like the most, it's definitely working in the community and being a part of any type of development and projects that go on in the community.
We have to mention before we go on that you are the youngest legislator ever in Nassau County.
Yes.
Right? Can we mention your age?
28. I'm
28.
28 years old. I mean, that was something that I never planned would happen. I was just fortunate to have the opportunity. And once the opportunity came and presented itself, I just felt, you know, I always thought that I'd probably become a county legislator somewhere in my 30s, like most of my colleagues have done. But it came at an early stage in my life, so I'm just happy to have it.
Yeah. And then you run for re-election again this November.
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of the what do you think is probably the most pressing issue in your district at this time?
The most pressing issues, I think, really tie into economic empowerment. I think that's something that throughout our Roosevelt, and Uniondale, and Hempstead, and those areas, Freeport, those are issues that have been concerning and plaguing the district in terms of empowering the area economically. In Roosevelt, we have a problem with the lack of a commercial tax base, so we need to have more commercial businesses start to set up in Roosevelt so that the actual taxes that are on the residential community is somewhat alleviated. Another big issue, which is not really tied into county government, but it's something that you know, I think I would like to work with our Assemblywoman Earlene Hooper on, is the schools. One of most things that we see with Roosevelt and with Uniondale and Hempstead and so on and so forth, the schools has become a very big issue, and it needs to be, because those are the education of our youth. So that's definitely something that I want to be able to work with. But as a county elected official, what I try to do, even though I can't directly be in touch with the schools, is provide youth programs and programs basically supporting the schools. So a lot of the programs that maybe they could maybe look to cut down or maybe have the county pick up, maybe that's some of the things that we could help out with.
Are there some new youth programs that you've got in mind, things that you want to bring to the community?
Absolutely. Well, definitely one of the main youth programs that I'm working with, and I'm working with a group called Kevan, which is basically an anti-gang group, is that we need to get more youth groups that are more tied into anti-gang initiatives. And we need to start thinking along those lines. And I think that's crucial. I think a lot of the youth groups that we have are very good, and they provide a great service. But we need to start getting more in the mode of understanding gangs in our community, because that's a growing population among our youth today.
But let's talk about this, because I know it's a main focus for you. You just recently had a forum on gangs. What was the focus of that, what did you want the outcome to be from that, and was it achieved?
I think it was achieved. What we were trying to accomplish during that forum was basically we brought in a group. The group was called Secured Persons. They were a group of individuals who were from police officers to correctional officers, come from the city, from Long Island, from all over. And we wanted to give people the information of what gang members look like, what they talk like, things to look out for, so on and so forth. So it was more of like an intelligence meeting. And what we did was we brought in, I believe, the 5 cornerstones of the community to be able to address this issue. We brought in people, family groups, we brought in youth groups, we brought in church leaders, we brought in police, and we brought in, of course, our educators, the schools. And once we brought in all those components, we were able to have them evaluate what that gang presentation. They got a really good constructive idea of what gang members look like and sound like, and the intelligence that we've been going off of for the last few years is basically evolving and changing. Believe it or not, they're actually writing their own type of language and so on and so forth. So it's not the normal thing that you think maybe gang members are kids on the street, on the corners. It's evolved to now they have attorneys and websites. It's really evolved, and it was quite scary.
And I think that there tends to be a perception on Long Island that gangs happen someplace else. But they are very prevalent here on the island.
Oh, very much. There's also a misconception that gangs are only in my district in Roosevelt and Uniondale. I went to a gang intelligence hearing out in Suffolk County at Stony Brook, and they had gangs in Sayville, there's gangs in Manhasset, there's gangs all over the county. And for whatever reason, it gets pinpointed just to Roosevelt and Uniondale, but there's gangs all over this county. And I think I kind of see it, and I heard this one time from a gentleman that I know, that I'm working with, that gangs is almost seen as cancer, that if you don't do something to address it, it spreads and eventually kills off and basically kills an individual. And that's kind of like gangs. If we don't address this situation now, then eventually it's going to evolve to something bigger that we're not going to be able to control.
We need to take a short break, Kevan. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about gangs and some things that maybe the average citizen might be able to do, and then we'll also talk about some of the budget issues in the county. So stay tuned. We'll take a short break and talk for a few more minutes with Legislator Kevan Abraham. Stay tuned.
Hey, America, you think your family's funny? We found 8 families who believe their lives are funny enough to be a sitcom. The competition is fierce in this crazy family feud, but only one household will win the chance to fly to Hollywood and star in their very own sitcom. My Life is a Sitcom, Mondays at 8, 7 Central on ABC Family Channel.
One real-life family and real-life laughs on My Life as a Sitcom. Watch ABC Family on Cablevision.
Baptisms take place in